Good. Let's see what we look like first before we start getting into this. 1 second. One second. 1 second. All right, so we good. Testing everything out real quick, man. All right, we good. We straight. We straight. I'm trying to do Wi-Fi, so Starbucks had me fucked up a little bit, but this is straight. We can work with this. We can work with this. All right, so I saw the P Diddy joint on here, and I haven't watched it yet, so I kind of want to see what they talking about. Here we go.
Hold on.
You're still purchasing your lenses from your optometrist?
What are you doing?
I hate ads so much.
The Breakfast Club.
Man, yesterday, y'all, Diddy's team messed up with Capricorn Clark on the stand. So Capricorn Clark, they went through a lot of things, and she was able to fill in context for a lot of things, and we'll get to that. But the biggest mess up for me was
Tell people who Capricorn Clark is.
Capricorn Clark is a previous personal assistant of Diddy's. She also came back to work for Diddy as like a head of marketing of some sorts for Sean John. She's had a few different roles.
If you don't know, man, this has been ongoing Diddy Trial stuff. I really don't know how to explain it to you because if you haven't heard about it, then just been out the loop. But this whole human trafficking, sex trafficking, abuse of domestic violence. But he's in trial for a RICO, and he's dating Cassie and all that good stuff. So if you don't know who he is, which would be absolutely crazy if you don't know who Diddy is, but and you've literally been living under a rock for several years. P. Diddy, Cassie, that whole situation. RICO, ecstasy and bribery allegations, using his power to threaten people and stuff like that. So that's where that is. So let's continue.
Because she's worked for him off and on since like 2011. But yes, so she's on the stand. They're running through the Kid Cudi story, which she told a different story. The Suge Knight, which she tells a different story. The lie detector test, and then the defense, Diddy's team, is trying to make the point of, okay, like, all of this stuff happened, and you say that your experience allegedly was so gruesome, and you alleged that you were kidnapped by gun and all these things, but let's go down the timeline of you wanting to work with Diddy again after all of these things. So you leave or you're terminated around after 2012. She alleges that she was terminated because she finally took a vacation. They asked her, Diddy's team asked her, well, where were you on vacation? She's like, I was in the south of France with Rihanna. And they're like, okay, they're trying to paint the picture like you had a really good lifestyle. You just want that back, and you didn't get that back allegedly. And that's why you're here, and that's why you're doing all these things. And she's like, they bring up an email to show that she was in conversations about being upset that they were upset that she took this vacation. She says she gets back and she was terminated. Now, after this happens, she says that she was unable to.
They're talking about the Diddy's ex-assistant. Who is Capricorn Clark? Who is that? Capricorn Clark. Does she have any other significance? She's probably just been Diddy's assistant for a very long time, more than likely. Here she is. She's not much of a looker. She's probably a lot older too. It's a better picture right here. Damn it. There we go. Hold on. I just saw the. Here's the picture. I guess this is an older picture. Capricorn Clark. They drew her crazy on these animations. Hold on. Man, anyway. This thing's trying to give me a hard time. Whatever. Capricorn Clark, go look her up. But she's right here. She's right here in this area. Let's see what we got.
To find consistent good work at all. She's alleging that Diddy blackballed her. She says that at one point, she went and sat down in a meeting with Jimmy Iovine, who told her, like, look, this is supposed to be a meeting about allegedly supposed to be a meeting about a job opportunity, but I'm here to tell you to leave that Diddy stuff alone. Like, because she had came out and said, hey, this is what happened to me. She had filed civil suit. She was going to take legal action. And she says that people were coming to her telling her not to do it. She alleges Jimmy Iovine. She also says that Andre Harrell and Diddy pulled up on her at one point at the CAA meeting that she was having. But that conversation set like a foundation of.
I'll look up Andre Harrell for y'all too. Andre Harrell. There we go. I'm starting to think Andre Harrell wasn't as innocent as people made it seem like when he passed away. Andre Harrell was P. Diddy's mentor, and the reason that P. Diddy's in so much power, P. Diddy was his assistant, and he passed away a few years ago. And yeah, that's Andre Harrell, man. So he's kind of the start of all this. He was around during the Biggie era and stuff like that. And I think this is when P. Diddy started taking over as executive producer.
She couldn't get work. So Diddy's team now is trying to prove that, like, Diddy had nothing to do with that. You just weren't able to get work. So they're like, wait, we're going to show you this recommendation letter that he wrote for you in just as recent as 2021. They bring up the letter and they're like, Miss Clark, can you take a look at this letter? Refresh your memory so we can have a conversation about it. She looks and she's like, that's not from 2021. That's from 2012. And the defense attorney like stops, and we all like, I'm just like, well, maybe they got the dates wrong, whatever. And then the defense attorney, Mark Agnifilio, says again, no, take a look at this letter. This is a recommendation letter that, Mr. Combs wrote for you in 2021. Again, they're trying to say to her, there's no way you were blackballed, allegedly, if he's helping you. Letter, right? Exactly, right? And she's like, no, this letter is from 2012. This is from the settlement that happened between us in 2012. Now we all in the court like,
settlement?
Boom.
Boom.
I guess Shorty took some money. I need to see. I don't really understand what they talking about, bro. Like, is she just on the stand because she couldn't get no work? Like, that's all this is about. Okay. Oh, he might have hit that girl. She claims she saw P. Diddy hit Cassie in 2011 as punishment for dating Kid Cudi. Oh, she saw everything. All right.
Look at y'all.
Tell them what the settlement was.
So the settlement, there was she had claimed that she was, blackballed. She couldn't work. She was so stressed from work that she was losing hair and all these things, right? And it amounted to her not having a job. She alleges that her home was taken. She wasn't able to provide for herself.
Right.
Her son, who was autistic, she wasn't able to provide for her son. So she was like, I need something. I'm trying to get my life back. But the settlement basically was that they came together. Her and Diddy allegedly agreed that they wouldn't go anywhere and disparage each other as long as she was settled out. But a part of that settlement was she asked for the recommendation letter to happen because she wanted to be able to work.
So she knew where that letter was coming from, so the defense had it wrong.
Oh, not only did she know where it was coming from, when she clarified with Diddy's attorney, she said, they said, well, look at the bottom of that letter. Isn't that Mr. Combs' signature? She said, yeah, but I wrote this letter.
She wrote her own recommendation letter.
Jesus.
So
How much did she get? Did they say?
They were trying to figure out whether she could say it on the stand or not, and we didn't find out. But they tried to get to it. They tried to get to it a couple times.
And then what did the prosecution do after that?
The prosecution after that came back in and said, oh, okay, well, now that it's been introduced, right, that this settlement happened, the door is open. Let's have a conversation about, that time period in your life. Oh my gosh, she was already breaking down because the defense was pushing and pushing and pushing, and it worked to the prosecution's favor because she literally broke down.
I'm gonna keep having this play, but I'm trying to read stuff like that's more, because I don't hear nothing that's like really interests me aside from this thing says something about him holding a gun to her or something like that. Former aide says P. Diddy kidnapped her in a plot to kill Kid. Why would you kidnap your former aide?
But the prosecutors are like, well, let's get into it, because they also brought up this meeting that she had in April 2024. This is after the raids had happened and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. Check this. A former aide for P. Diddy testified Tuesday that he threatened to kill her on the first day. God damn. On the first day on the job, kidnapped her at gunpoint and sought to kill Kid Cudi. So she's fairly new, like maybe a decade with him, because I think they was dating in like 2012, Kid Cudi and Cassie. Pled not guilty. Interesting. Kid Cudi testified that Clark called him from a car outside of his. Oh, so she was the lady that called Kid Cudi December 2011 and told him that P. Diddy was mad at them dating. So she snitched. Angry because Kid Cudi was dating the singer, had kidnapped her and forced her to ride with him to Cudi's home. Yeah, she told. Clark, the assistant, said P. Diddy came to her home that morning with a gun in his hand and demanded that she get dressed and come with him because we're going to kill Kid Cudi. She said that they rode in a black Escalade to Kid Cudi's house, where Combs and his bodyguards entered the residence, Kid Cudi's house, while the assistant sat in the car and called Cassie. She called Cassie while P. Diddy was in Kid Cudi's house. Because you remember they said that P. Diddy had broken into Kid Cudi's house. Well, they said didn't break in because there wasn't no like locks, or it wasn't like no sign of a break-in. So there was like he walked in, he locked Kid Cudi's dog in the bathroom or the closet, and then he opened all his Christmas presents. That's kind of weird. She claims that P. Diddy. She claims that she said something like he with a gun and brought me to Cudi's house to kill him. She said that she heard Kid Cudi in the background call asking, "He's in my house?" Oh, he was with Cassie during that time. Stop him, he's gonna get himself killed. So she called Cassie. Hey Cassie, they're in Kid Cudi's house. Kid Cudi is with Cassie at the time that P. Diddy and his bodyguard is locking Kid Cudi's dog in the door and opening up his presents. P. Diddy returned to the vehicle and asked the assistant who she was talking to. He grabbed the phone and called Cassie back. Then they heard Kid Cudi's vehicle was coming up the road. P. Diddy and his bodyguard got back in the vehicle, chased after Kid Cudi, finally giving up when they passed police cars that they were headed for Kid Cudi's house after the break-in. The assistant said P. Diddy told the people with him that they had to convince Kid Cudi it wasn't me. If you don't convince him of that, I'll kill you. Damn. Clark said, "Oh, come the fuck on, bro." It's the only time I like reading. Clark said that she and Cassie went to Kid Cudi's home. We need telling the jurors we need to talk to him. We need to make sure he wasn't going to make a police report about Puff. After that, she said she watched in shock as Combs assaulted Cassie over her relationship with Kid Cudi. P. Diddy kicked Cassie to the legs and back as she curled on the ground outside of his home in fetal position and cried. Assistant said her heart was breaking seeing her get hit like that. The bodyguard didn't intervene. Cudi testified that he dated Cassie in December 2011, saying that she broke up with P. Diddy, but after they agreed over the holidays to end the relationship, after the shit hit the fan, and Kid Cudi was like, "I ain't built for this." He's kept threatening the assistant, blah blah blah. Did she go back to working with him? She said she was only weeks into the job when Combs tasked her with carrying some of the diamond jewelry on a flight to Miami, and it went missing. As a result, she was taken to a largely empty building in Manhattan, where over a 5-day stretch, she was repeatedly given a lie to take the test by a man 5 times larger than her in size. He said, "If you fail this test, we're gonna throw you in East River." She been through some shit. But why would you do that to your assistant on the first few days? So I guess the relevance of me watching this Breakfast Club thing with Caitlyn, with Capricorn Clark, P. Diddy's ex-assistant, is because she saw a bunch of stuff on her first day working. She snitched. P. Diddy threatened to kill her several times because I guess he couldn't trust her no more. And I guess you can't fire nobody who's seen all that too. So you kind of stuck. So anyway, let's keep going.
And the defense tried to make it seem like, again, this is you just trying to come back and work for Puff. And why would you do that? You know, you're willing to stand beside him after all these things have happened, but you had these claims and all the settlement or whatever. Prosecution's like, please explain why you want to do that meeting. Y'all, when I tell y'all, she's bawling in tears and we're all just like, wow. She's like, look, I felt like basically it was better to be an ally than to be against him. I had come out, I made the claims that I made. We figured out this settlement. I went through so much since 2012 trying to get my life back. So when there was a conversation between my attorneys and the defense attorneys about coming back in April 2024, because basically they were trying to allegedly fix things. Like they wanted to figure out how they could restructure Diddy because everything was happening, the raids and all this stuff. So they wanted to use her as like, the defense says she suggested it. The prosecution brought out of her that it was a conversation that was brought to her. She just entertained it. That she would basically be like, I'm the woman who's been here since 2010, 2012, known him since 2004. Basically, if I'm still here and I'm sitting beside him and I'm running all these things and I know the original formula, the businesses will still be able to go, but also it's a good look because all of these claims are from this time period where I was around. Why would I stand next to him in such a big way? And she's like, I only entertain.
I know I'm not trying to break what we're doing, but I did see the Tory Lanez stab video. We'll get into that another time, but I want to type in Capricorn Clark. We're going to watch some more videos on her.
Saying that because I wanted my life back. Like I literally lost everything allegedly, and like, man, she talked about.
And in response to that referral letter that she wrote and Diddy signed, they wouldn't even have bought in the settlement if it wasn't for that, right?
No,
that wouldn't even have came up in court. Right?
I don't know.
You'd have never known that Diddy settled with her back then.
The prosecution, even it was mentioned like they briefly were like mentioning the things and like kind of like there was so much that they were getting to because she was able to paint the picture of so many different things. But us being able to have the conversation about that recommendation letter, finding out that she wrote the letter, finding out that that was a part of the settlement, finding out that it was a part of the settlement because basically she was trying to make it where she could work again. All of that came because Diddy's attorney introduced it, and he thought that he was proving something recent, and it backfired. Then she started talking about even being able to Chris Lighty. She brought up Chris Lighty, right?
But let me ask you a question. What part of the trial is that what he's charged with? Because it wasn't she part of the kidnapping, right? Because she didn't get.
Thank you, because I'm trying to all this recommendation letter stuff and nigga, I don't know what relevance do I not to. I'm not saying P Diddy didn't do none of this. I just want P Diddy in jail since just conspiracy. That's all. I think he had something to do with it, but and a few other reasons. So that's why the story is kind of boring to me. And I was reading up on like what she knows and why she's even relevant, which is because of the Kid Cudi stuff, which is interesting. But but I guess it's the kidnapping, like Charlemagne said.
To that yet.
I didn't. The kidnap. She alleges that she was kidnapped by gunpoint and taken to Kid Cudi's house, and that she was made to stay in the car.
Which is what we just read.
While they allegedly chased Kid Cudi through the Hollywood Hills. Kid Cudi didn't tell us that there was a chase. She alleges that she was overworked and underpaid, causing like physical change to her body and mental stress. She alleges that Diddy.
I ain't gonna lie, and I'm not saying this to be mean, but she looks like she's under mental stress in these pictures and videos. Is that her right there too? Looks better. Yeah, you see this picture? She was rough, bro. She was rough.
He used his power to basically strip her of everything. Her home allegedly was being paid for by him. Her car, everything was taken from her the minute that she started complaining about things that she saw because she had witnessed the Diddy and Cassie physically get into it. And they tried to paint her as this like love struck. I had a crush on Diddy. I was jealous of Cassie, and she broke down crying and she said, "I wasn't jealous of Cassie. I was upset that he messed up the program. He let this woman come in, mess up everything, and my life depends on this. My stakes are higher."
Now, didn't she say something like,
Located in the heart of Dunwoody, our facility comes equipped with the latest in eye care technology.
he didn't stop Cassie's career? Cassie stopped her own career because she wasn't talented?
Cassie is not. She is not the biggest Cassie fan at all. Me and You was not on replay. She basically said that she felt like Cassie was given all of these resources and didn't deserve them because she got by and she sung a little bit. Like,
Everybody is saying that Cassie is not talented, which sucks because I make music and I don't even know if that's how you spell her name. Damn it.
That was cute, but yeah, she said that she wasn't like she ain't no Whitney Houston.
She wasn't a star.
Yeah,
the whole world know that.
That's how you know she's an honest witness.
Yeah, definitely honest.
And it wasn't hating. She was literally being honest.
But that's the best
Somebody
honest because
said
she's there for herself. Last question. You was mentioning Chris Lighty, and
Yes.
Chris Lighty died. And if you don't know who Chris Lighty is, Chris Lighty used to manage, started a company with Mona Scott. Violator was the name of the company.
Chris Lighty, Mona Scott. I don't fool with none of them. Look at my baby. My baby Lauren LaRosa. This my boo. This my boo thing. I know I'm off subject. All right.
They managed Missy, Busta Rhymes, 50 Cent at one time, Nori at one time, and a host of others. So what happened with Chris Lighty?
She was talking about trying to get her life back and get a job when we were having a conversation about that recommendation letter. And they said at one point, she mentioned at one point she had gotten a job offer from Chris Lighty. And then like the day before she was about to start, day of, he died. And then she broke down crying again.
How did he die?
So it's alleged suicide. Yeah, right. But yes. So,
but they didn't believe that because a lot of people said they didn't believe it was suicide. They thought maybe something else happened. But did that come up at all?
no, she didn't. It was just a mention of her telling a story about how she was meeting with all these big names and people were trying to look out for her. But then there were people who were like, "No, we're not looking out for you. We're not touching you."
Wow. All right.
Damn.
Well, that is the latest with Lauren. All right, we got more next hour. Now, who's on trial today? Who's talking today?
Today they're going to talk to Cassie's stylist. His name is Deontay. They're also going to talk to an arson investigator and a LAPD officer.
Oh, I want to show y'all what we found out yesterday real quick. But this is Chris Lighty, which is the guy that died is what they're talking about. I hope P. Diddy had nothing to do with him dying just because she's trying to get a job with him. Throw him in the jail if that's true. Damn it. It was yesterday. Bro, I want y'all to see this day 26 stuff, bro. This John is nuts. Damn, Shannon Sharp, they got 500,000 views off of you with that white girl. All right, let's see. Damn, what did Sean Kemp do? Golly, pleads guilty to assault. Golly, all right, hold on. Look at this.
Different color, and we let you,
You know
rock,
why?
right?
You know
We-
why?
No.
It would also be
All right, this feels almost.
I don't support no ad that ain't paying me. You ain't paying me, you ain't getting no play.
choosing to attend social events without me.
I felt like
Okay. Fuck me, come on. Boo. All right. This is Q from day 26. And he was crying on Vlad TV about something that P. Diddy did, allegedly. And he wouldn't tell us. He wouldn't tell us why he was crying. Watch this first.
I think it's record.
that threw me off guard.
And he witnessed all the abuse.
Yeah.
But,
It's a fact.
and then 4 days go on these binges, and during the binges, that's when allegedly the free coughs happen or whatever else, and then they would go and get IVs.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Try to rejuvenate themselves.
That's a fact.
And then a week or two later, go through the same type of thing.
He's also the person that said that Diddy said that he never cared about making a band, and it never.
Hold on. Let's go further.
And are coming to light now, and I'd be like, whoa, that had to be God, intervening and removing me from that situation, because it could have got really, really bad. So,
I'm 34, so I remember when Day 26 was happening, making the band and all that stuff. And Q basically left the group. He was like in love with Don Richards, and just a young guy who fell in love with music, fell in love with the woman in the music industry, a bunch of things you shouldn't do in the music business. It's business, but because you got to be on your P's and Q's, and he really wasn't. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But we liked him. We enjoyed Q.
Man, I'm sorry to go through that.
it's okay.
Yeah. But at least they found something that actually helps you out to stabilize you. 'Cause I think a lot of people, they self-medicate, whether it's with pills or...
All right, let's go forward. I'm not trying to hear all this.
Would sit down and think about hurting. I don't get it. I don't know why somebody would do that to a talented, passionate people.
Yeah.
Like, we talented, passionate people. I don't understand. No, it's okay, bro. I don't understand why someone would sit down and think about hurting someone. I don't know. Or laugh about it after they do it, Like, I don't get it. That's why I said none of them are innocent. I'm not here to expose anybody, but none of them are innocent, man. Like, none of them are innocent. Y'all all coming after this man for millions of dollars when y'all were a part of it as well. Y'all were down too. Like, that's not fair. That's not fair to him. It's not fair. Fair to me.
It's not fair to people that with actual story that actually been affected by that, because then it make everybody seem like they just try out to get something or, whatever, opposed to it being real people that went through real stuff.
Did you ever confront Diddy about this?
I kept trying to get in contact with him because all I wanted was an apology. All I kept saying, like, could you apologize? Like, could you just apologize for what I can't talk about right now? But I just wanted to apologize because something was wrong with me.
Bro, I hope Vlad don't strike this, man. I hope he don't strike this. Don't be on that, Vlad.
Me, man. Something was wrong. And like when your last Vlad interview, you could look at me and tell like something was wrong. Like,
yeah, he went with none of that.
I wasn't the enthused person. I wasn't cute.
I used to not be able to play Vlad videos because he would strike my videos.
I looked like stressed. I looked like I was in a dark place. So like you could tell like something was wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to go there. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. It's
I'm
all
so
good.
sorry.
This is real.
Yeah.
And
We gotta take a break.
yeah, let's take a break.
I just didn't like that he kept the cameras rolling, and then look at Mike. Mike like, bro, what y'all doing? But I fuck with Mike. I fuck with Mike heavy.
Man, shit. Yeah.
Q. Ever excited?
That shit fucked up.
And then we're gonna go to this.
Really huge allegations against Dawn Richard. Let's take a listen.
My ex at the time, which was Dawn, she gave me a ecstasy pill. Yeah, she said it was ecstasy, and she said it was from Puff to give to me. And it was red. And I took it because I thought I was going to get freaky with my girlfriend. And I trusted her that that's what it was. So I took it immediately, and she had one too. He gave her 2 of them. I took mine. Within like 20 minutes, I knocked out and blacked out. I woke up in the twins' bedroom in the basement. And I woke up out of my sleep screaming very, very loud.
Who are the twins?
Diddy's twins. His girls. Yeah, I woke up in their bed to cameras filming me. And they were laughing as I woke up out of my sleep, screaming. And I'm not gonna cry.
Okay.
It felt very sacrificial. That's what I meant when I said I felt like they were trying to hurt me, or Diddy was trying to maybe sacrifice me that night.
Now, when Q was up here, y'all remember that we almost kind of got to the Diddy conversation because we were asking, did they experience anything? And he was like,
very triggering for him.
Yeah, very triggering. He didn't want to talk about it. Then they went on, I believe it was Vlad TV, and he broke down.
Which is what we already watched.
But now we hold on. With everything else to your younger sisters and family, and continue a relationship with me, it would also be inconsistent with choosing to. With everything else,
Dawn, which was his girl, the one he said he passed him the pills, is this chick. And I always felt like Dawn was more business minded. When I say more business minded, I always felt like she was more serious about the music shit, and she would probably do more than anybody else to get there. But she probably also would do things that would be morally against most people's moral compass as well. But it seemed like she kind of understood that when she was in the group. So she was willing to go through whatever to get where she was going. So I don't think Dawn is completely innocent, but I do think she did what she had to do to get big, because the rest of Danity Kane kind of like either separated or Diddy kind of like tore them apart, because Danity Kane was actually bigger than Day 26, and they were legit, man. They were legit. Let me see if I can show y'all. Man, bro, I can never seem to make pictures big. There we go. Can I scroll to the... I know my face is in the way. There we go. So this is the Danity Kane. That's Dawn. That's Aubrey O'Day. I actually don't know these other 3. This one on the left and 2 on the right, because Aubrey was one of the ones who wasn't with that BS from the get, and Dawn kind of was with it, but she fought back sometimes. But they were bigger than Day 26, and then Day 26 got big, and all that other stuff. So
that's going on. I don't think people even
just on the stand.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Dawn is trying to combat the fact that of what Q said with the pills and everything.
So Dawn came out and said that, she wants to be clear. She has never drugged anyone or given anybody any pills. The suggestion that she did so is categorically false. If such a belief were genuine, it would be inconsistent with the actions that followed, such as inviting me into your home, introducing me to your younger sisters and family, and continue a relationship with me. It would also be inconsistent with choosing to attend social events without me, engaging with individuals I had previously expressed concerns about, and continuing to live with or provide favors to those same individuals. Many of these actions occurred while I was not present or even in contact with you. Throughout our time together, even after our separation, I made a conscious decision to not share or disclose private matters or the circumstances surrounding the end of our relationship to protect you. And she put you in caps. I did this out of respect for you and your family.
That's interesting because she's doing the same thing to Q that people are doing to Cassie. Like, why would you stay with a person after they do something,
right?
Heinous to you? And I don't know what's true and what's not. I'm just saying it's interesting that that's the route she took.
Yeah, I mean, but so Dawn Richard also took the stand in Diddy's trial, and when she testified, she spoke in support of Cassie for the most part. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. But yes, people are doing that to Cassie.
And she did that to Q just now.
Yes, and that's exactly.
If I did that to you, then why would you meet me? Why would you your family?
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Like that's not right.
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy that she had took the stand and nobody brought up the fact that she had just worked with Diddy. She's on the last album.
The Love album.
The Love album.
I thought they did bring that up. They
didn't get to. They brought up her being in contact with him after leaving the whole Diddy situation in 2011, but they didn't specifically bring up the Love album. And I did ask why did they not, and I was told they don't know. But so that happened. So maybe that's a bit more of an explanation for people.
Anyway, I'm gonna stop the stream and I'm gonna go to this Tory Lanez thing, and then I'll be done for the day. Because I do want to get into that. I am a Tory fan musically. I never really was a fan of him personally because he did a lot of things even before the August Alsina stuff that I just never really liked. But I do think he's talented, and I don't think he killed. I don't think he shot Megan personally. But I'll get into that in just a second.